Hello, welcome to You Haven't Blanked That. I'm Forrest.
And this is Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Forrest.
So, it's David Fincher month. And this week we watched a little movie called The Killer.
The Killer? Oh, shit. I watched the wrong movie.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah. That we did. Oh, so, when did you watch this movie before I go into the synopsis?
So it came out in like the last year.
You went to the theaters to see it?
No. It's a Netflix movie, so I watched it on Netflix.
Okay.
Like, it premiered on Netflix. Like, David Fincher does a bunch with Netflix right now. Like, he made a movie, Mank, about Joseph Mankiewicz.
Yeah.
And then that serial killer show, the one that was on there.
This didn't go in theaters? That's a bummer.
Oh, so I'm happy that you liked it. You know what?
No,
I
it's just like I
think
prefer...
they do. I think they do premiere them in theaters because they want some of like the ones that they're gonna throw out there. I don't know. I'm sure this did at some point. Like I'm sure there's somewhere where it played on a movie theater screen.
Yeah.
My
thing is just like I feel like you don't get the whole like I made a film if it goes straight to like streaming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think most of those in general get. Most of the bigger like directors,
right?
They give them their premiere, even if it's going to go on the Netflix. I know all the Star Wars stuff on Disney. They do a big premiere, like the Evil Dead thing we went and saw.
Oh, okay,
because I have a friend that I used to work with at Disney who's been there this whole time, and he works special events, and he works all of those. He's cool. He's like the one that's in charge of like guest control.
Okay.
Or one of the people. Like I'm not gonna say it's just him, but like. All the Star Wars shows have had like a premiere.
So we ask a question every. Let's see. So, The Killer.
Yes.
All right. Solitary, cold, methodical, and unencumbered by scruples of regret. A killer waits in the shadow, watching for his next target. Yet, the longer he waits, the more he thinks he's losing his mind, if not his cool. I was just okay with it.
Really?
So, my thing with this whole movie is just like, I feel like they try to make two opposite characters one character.
Okay.
Because one was like he's a stone killer and this is what he's doing, like that's his job, but then they try to like.
But then he kind of like finds out because then he finds out his girlfriend gets beat up, and then he's like, I'm out for revenge.
Like okay, now you have feelings, now you have these commitments. I'm like, okay, cool, but not only that, but like I kind of was like, okay, cool, you're gonna play music to detach yourself and calm your mind, fantastic. But then he's like playing like
nothing but the Smiths,
and you're like. Okay, so when I hear that, I just feel like either you're Mexican and you have all the feels, or two is like you're very emotional, and then you're doing things
that was a post-production thing also. So that's something
the music,
the whole Smith thing is something he added in post-production. I got to think of how you find it real quick.
So my thing too, it's like one of those where it's like you every time he says like you can't change the plan, you can't he said it like every time he mentioned you got to keep it cool, stick to the plan, adapt. Something terrible would happen, right? But it's one of those where it's like if you were if his character was more like kind of jokey, then I could kind of go with it. You know what I mean? But the fact that he's so quiet and just precise, it's like okay, cool. And the second of all, like when he was like when he shot the dominatrix, I was like, okay, perfect. You know, he's like, you have your sight there. You obviously didn't have a decent shot because even when she stepped off to the side, she was still dancing within his like scope range. So it's like,
it's based on a comic. I tried reading the comic before this, but it's like a 700-page comic. Like it's been going on for a fucking while.
Really? Well, the comic's got to be way better than the film. Because like the film is the film is okay, but at the same time, I just don't believe him because it's just like you're so cold and you're not. But then you got these great characters and these great scenes where you're like, fuck, dude, that's so badass.
Like that whole scene with the with his boss.
That was cool.
That was great. Where he's like, all right. He's a good.
That explains this movie more because I feel like it was like they had a great story and they just rushed as much as it to you.
Well, I didn't get farther into the comic because I've just been so busy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The
comic
was better.
It's like I don't know where in the comic they start.
Yeah.
Because like at the beginning, it's him. I mean, there's a lot of the narration of it, and it's about him getting into it.
And then the thing too,
like in the movie, he's already established. Yeah. You know, we've already established it.
Because like his girlfriend, like obviously he botches that the assassination. He then retreats back to his girlfriend. You know,
WWJWBD.
Yeah, and then
what would John Wilkes Booth do?
Yeah. No, there's some great lines in that in the film, but like he races back to his girlfriend, and then the brother, his brother, would be the girl's brother-in-law, whatever he is. He tells him like, I like that whole scene. It's like, don't let her hear you because she just she's just going whatever. She's just resting, and like you're just gonna get her more aggravated.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like fuck yeah, like, this is gonna be really good. But then you're like, there's no connection. You have no connection with it because technically he should have no connection with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. But then also like you get these weird moments where the killers are like stone faced, but then they have emotions too. Because like even with the only person I believe that have emotions would be the receptionist. The girl, when they go to the restaurant, that's probably my favorite scene. When like he goes to the restaurant to get to that girl that.
Oh, to Tilda Swinton?
Yeah. Like that was so great. And then she's like, and I like that whole like, oh, this is my last meal. Like, okay, cool. And I like how she's talking to him and how she's trying to get in his head. Like, hey, like, it's like the most. What's great about this is that you're gonna remember this night more than anything else. This is the only way I'm gonna be able to haunt you. And you're like, fuck, dude, that's a great like. That's great writing right there. And then, like, she trips, and you're like, oh, this is where he's going to fuck him up. And he just shoots her, no regret, and moves on. But, like, yeah, with that innocent lady, the receptionist, you know what I mean? Like, he saved her, and they kept her alive, and she begged him for his life. You know, it was like, all like, that I believe. But I don't know, dude, it's just like, she even tells him, like, you shouldn't have emotions. This is the deal. You've done this. You've gone in when people botched jobs and you stepped in and like took care of it. So what the fuck are you mad about? Which is the same thing too. It's like what's he mad about? If he fucking loved his girlfriend, he wouldn't have like left. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's where it's just like but I liked it. I thought it was a good movie, but I feel like it would probably be way more popular if it was out in theaters. And then that's what like I don't like too, because like all these films, they happen on TV or the Netflix or the streamings, and you watch them, but then no one ever talks about like the films like they do like.
But I think all these get like a 2-week release at least before. Some of them will get a 2-week release.
When was the last time you were in the theater?
Last time I was in the theater? We haven't got a lot this year. I'm trying to think what was the last movie we saw. When did the Marvels come out? Was that last year? End of last year? Yeah. I'm trying to think. I know we've gotten to something this year.
I go to the theaters once a year. That's it.
You go once a year?
I saw Dune this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I saw Godzilla -1.
Okay.
And then and then after that, I don't even remember.
We'll usually go a bunch. We've just been so fucking busy.
Yeah.
Like we would do.
Well, that makes sense because like you have a family, so you.
Well, no, we would even go because like on Sundays it's $5 Sunday at the movie theater I go.
Oh yeah. Oh, no, I go to the Triangle.
Yeah, it's on Sundays it's $5. You don't have to go that far.
No, there's
the Garden Grove. The Garden Grove is the same company.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And there's one in Lakewood also.
Yeah.
But we usually go to the Lakewood one because we usually get a couple weeks too late, and that's a bigger theater than the Garden Grove that only has 4.
Yeah.
And we didn't something about the Costa Mesa one that just didn't sit right with us.
The parking's weird. I don't like the parking there.
Parking was okay. It was when we went, some people were being loud and fucking stupid, and I'm all.
Well, that's because the bar is right next. Well, technically in the middle of the bar
was like
area.
A fucking family being fucking stupid with their shit.
Oh, that sucks.
So we'll I'm sure once summer gets here and there's more movies out, we'll go more. Yeah. It's just we've been busy. Like Lisa and I are probably gonna go we'll probably have a day date, make the kids stay at home and go see Wolverine and Deadpool.
Oh, there you go. So, did you like this movie?
I like this movie. It's not my favorite. There's a couple. One of the things I noticed that they do with the stick to the plan thing. Yeah. He does it's the guy who wrote Seven, by the way. That's why this was kind of a big deal. Okay. Because it was Fincher getting back with the guy who wrote Seven.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I didn't know that. I didn't see any of that in this, but...
Well, no, but here's the thing. It doesn't really hit to Seven, but it hits with Fight Club. Because in Fight Club, I don't know, and they do this in the book, it's something that, and I've heard Palahniuk talk about this when he writes, is that sometimes you want there to be a bit of a chorus. So in Fight Club, when you'll do your story. Okay, yeah. In Fight Club, what do you think it would be? You're having read the book and seen the movie, what do you think would be considered the chorus?
What would be the chorus for that film?
And it's not going to be what you think it is. Maybe, I don't know, but...
What would be the chorus of that film? Okay, so...
where it kind of resets a bit, and it kind of throws you off a second, and then it goes back to this thing that he says, that or something that happens, that would be like, kind of the chorus, if you will.
Is it the Xerox? No, that's the very beginning.
No.
It would be...
it's something that repeats.
There's a part in the film where you feel like it's kind of like, oh, this is weird.
What I mean by it is that it repeats a few times. And it's not what you think it is, but it's something that repeats.
That Tyler?
No, I'll tell you what it is.
Is it Jack?
No. It's the... And that's probably... It's the... You wake up in Portland. You wake up in Los Angeles. How many times does he do that where he...
Oh, yeah.
You wake up here. You wake up here. And he talks about it, and it's him going around... That's kind of like what they call the course of it. So I thought, I figured that...
Oh, that's opened up my mind for a lot of things.
You didn't know about this?
No, I didn't know that.
That's what he does. Go back... What Palahniuk books have you read?
I read Choke. I read... what was that one? Invisible...
Monsters?
Yeah.
I don't think I've gotten Invisible Monsters. But look at his books. He has something that's kind of the chorus in each of them. Where they kind of... Where something fucked up happens, and then it kind of brings you back around a bit to kind of reestablish you, kind of get you back on your feet.
Yeah,
it's just the rhythm of the way he writes. I've got a book about how he writes. I'll let you borrow.
Yeah, let me borrow that. Let me borrow that.
And then remind me next time. It's a book. It's called Write This, and it's all his writing, what he does, and how how he writes his stories and him talking about his writing.
I need to read more of him because I used to love him.
I'm trying to think what I've read. Beautiful You was interesting. That was kind of like a... it's kind of like sex... like a Fight Club, but it had to do a lot with about fucking. Okay. It's almost Fight Clubby in a way. No. Yeah. Like, not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, that's what it is.
Like, I don't need a book to shock me. But I guess his books do shock you. But, yeah, I know. I'm down to read his stuff.
What else have I read from him? The ones about the girl that goes there's ones about where the girl goes to hell, and she's trying to get out of hell. There's two. I forgot what they're called. I'll tell you. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now. Those ones were interesting. Lullaby. Okay. Oh, dude. Lullaby is fucking weird. So Lullaby is about this... song that keeps being sung to people, and then they die after you hear it. Okay. It's fucking weird as shit.
That might be my first one. Okay, hold on. I'm writing it down. Okay.
You can find all those on Hoopla, I believe.
Oh, nice. I still need to get my library card.
You just go to a fucking Orange County library or Buena Park library.
No, because I probably owe money.
To Buena Park?
Not on my own behalf, for my negligence of letting somebody else return a book for me. Now that I know that it's a longer tale, and now the rushing, the more nuances of the characters probably makes more sense when you see them develop. But I don't know how they... I don't know. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know either. But I'm just simply that makes sense why they they stuck with this character and these like quirks because it probably makes sense in the longer story, but in this quick snapshot of a film, it's very like that's awkward. That's weird. Why is this happening? But it makes sense.
The guy who wrote it's been writing it for like off and on for like 20 years.
I wonder how he felt about it. Probably hates it. You would have to hate it, right? Because it's like you're chopping up your baby and then.
Well, you know, there's a bunch of ways to look at it. You can look at it like that, but whatever someone else does to adapt something doesn't change your thing.
That's true, and then the same thing too. It's like once you throw it out there, that's art. So anyone's interpretation, they can do whatever they want.
And it goes back to my. That's what goes back to my way of how I read comics and when they adapt other characters. Like,
how much do you think the sponsorship was for this movie?
That's how much sponsorship was there in this movie?
Yeah, no. How much money do you think that Ace Hardware got for this movie?
Oh, I don't know.
Because they were very prominent on that screen for a while.
Was that this movie?
Yeah.
You're sure that was...
Yeah, 100%. Because he goes to Ace Hardware, and, like, that's where he gets the trash can, and that's where he gets the power tools, and then, like, he pays the guys cash, they throw in the back of the van, and then he goes over to the spot, to the boss, and then he's, like, he pretends to do that, like, triangle stuff, and then, like, he...
And side note... Hold on. Isn't Ace Hardware in the other movie?
Yes, it is.
That's why I was like, are you sure?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's why I was like, oh my god. Like, yeah, it's 100%.
Because what's his face worked at
the Ace Hardware, yeah. And I was like, why is there so much Ace Hardware going on?
David Fincher's just showing his cards.
Dude, he just fucking, that's his store.
Showing his Frank the Tank cards.
Yeah, just fuck off.
Got a nice little Sunday.
Fuck off. You the Dick Lowe's.
Got a nice little Sunday plan. Gotta go to Ace Hardware. Maybe Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if we'll have time.
But yeah, no, I thought that was pretty funny because once I saw them both, I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. Because that's obviously his, like, we're putting that in.
Clearly, that's his thing.
But yeah, like, I don't hate the film. It was a good watch. It was a slow burn in the beginning, so I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
then it caught my interest. I'm like, all right, we're watching this, and then it just got to the point where it's like, why are you so emotional all of a sudden? That's what threw me off.
What was your thought on the Smiths the whole time?
Interesting song choice for him. I was like, okay, like that's why I was like, either you're Mexican, you're all in the fields, because that's why people love because you know why people love the Smiths, right? The Mexicans.
Go on.
It's because all the songs are very all Mexican songs are very soulfully, like heartbreaking, like all the ones that like you go to any like party like at midnight or whatever, they're gonna play all the heartbreak songs, you know what I mean? And then so like the Smiths makes all his songs are like kind of heartbreaky songs, you know what I mean? So it's very much like perfect. Plus he looks cool, so people kind of gravitate to like, oh, he looks cool and he's singing with his like, because Spanish is just romanticism, you know what I mean? So like you have this romantic heartbreak songs in the Smiths, which translates so well to like Mexican culture. So like that's why they're so popular. But like that's why I'm saying like he's either all in his feels or it's just like he's just a super sad boy. You know what I mean? So it's just like a weird, and like I kind of like the idea of him being a super sad boy doing all this stuff, but he doesn't show any of it. He doesn't show any regret for anything that he's doing. So it's like it's interesting. I don't know. I like it. It's just I'd watch it again, but yeah, no. I feel like the film had like a different tone in the beginning than the end. You know what I mean? Like they had.
That's okay though, because like how many Coen Brothers movies have a fucking.
That's very true. That's very true.
I mean, so does Fight Club. I mean, there's a lot of movies where the tone changes. Fight Club.
Yeah, you're right. Because this one, I wouldn't say it's so contract. The contrast isn't so huge from the beginning to the end, but I feel like maybe if the character was more spoken, but he's not a spoken character. I mean, he's a killer. So maybe if I would have saw him have a bigger establishment with his girlfriend, I would probably have been way.
That's a weird. It is. I'll give you that. That's a little weak. You know what I mean? Like, you just know... You know what I mean? Like, if you know...
Because, like, she came in and, like, okay, cool, and then she's dying, you're like, oh, shit. Rather than be here with your last minutes, even if he would have stayed with her till she died, I would have been way more better with his revenge. But the fact that she's still alive and he goes, "I'll never let this happen again." Obviously, because she's dying.
If he had talked to her,
if he would have talked to her, because even thinking too, it's like she goes, "You've been proud of me." I didn't say a word. I'm thinking like, and then in the back of my head, I'm thinking, "But she did say something, and it's gonna come like it's gonna fuck him over at the end." That's where I thought it was going with that. But like, she would never brought up again. You're like, okay, well,
you shouldn't say a fucking word.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, interesting.
Did you ever see Brawl in Cell Block 99? I think is what it's called.
No.
That it does this weird thing.
Is that a comedy?
No, it's not a comedy. It's by the guy who did you ever see Bone Tomahawk?
Yes.
Same guy who made Bone Tomahawk.
Okay.
And so he, like Vince Vaughn, ends up in jail, and he ends up.
Is this skinny Vince Vaughn? Like
this is like in the last 5-10 years, Vince Vaughn.
Okay.
That the Vince Vaughn nobody likes, and I don't understand because
he's still good. I still like him.
I have no problem with Vince Vaughn. But he comes home and he finds his girlfriend cheating on him, and you're like, oh, he's gonna like fuck some shit up, and they just talk it out.
Oh, okay.
It's not the major conflict of the movie, so it's just weird.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Like,
but sometimes like that's kind of how it is.
No. I agree, but yeah, I think it's called Brawl in Cell Block 99 or Cell Block 10 or something like that.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, overall, like the film's very direct. You know, it doesn't take any twists or turns. You know where it's going. But
yeah, you know, it's a. I can see where someone would be upset because it is kind of a bland revenge story.
A little bit, yes. There was like that's why I didn't feel like very fulfilled at the end of it.
And I don't know how significant the comic is in like indie comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know there's a lot of things that they've adapted that I feel like are just like, oh, we were able to do this, so we.
But like nothing on like the director on this whole thing because like it like looked beautiful.
Well, yeah,
it looked beautiful from the beginning.
David Fincher does great in everything.
And so, like, I'm excited about that. It's just the story was, like, okay. Like, the story was okay. That's what it was. The filming-wise, cinematography, fucking stellar. So nice. That's what kept me watching the whole thing. But, yeah, the story was just weak. And I was a little bummed by that. But, like, obviously, I'm not sure if... David picked this film to do, or if they just needed a director. Like, we need somebody
I think they're kind of giving him free range at Netflix. I mean, the Mankiewicz one that he did was actually based on something his dad wrote, I think.
Okay.
And he just like, oh, I'm going to do this movie, and I think it's one of those like, if you're going to let me do a movie here, I'll do my movie.
The pacing on it was good though. I liked it.
Yeah, it's paced really well. I think they give him. I'm not going to say they give him free reign, but I think he's one of those people that doesn't have a lot on there, you know what I mean? Like a lot where they're gonna say too much,
right?
So
yeah, I wouldn't say this is. I would say this is not like a safe film. You know what I mean? Like to be like, okay, see, this is what I could do. I don't need that much like hovering over my work, but like it's still a solid film. But yeah, I just kind of wish there was more. Just. Stuff to like tie it together because I felt like it was just a little weak and I'm like okay, so I was never checked out, but I was never fully committed to watching it.
I was never checked out, but I didn't check in to begin with.
it was good. Like the beginning really caught me, but then like he has these things too where like they're introducing how methodical he is. By talking about how much protein he needs in the morning and doing this and that, how he picked out a German tourist, and then why he picked that tourist because like people would avoid him. I'm like, fantastic. Like I like where your head's going. I like we're introducing this to like your world, but then none of that came into play later on. So it's like, okay, cool. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I felt like I don't know. The writing, the story. I'm just hoping the comics are way better.
I'm
gonna check out the comic. I'm gonna check out the
one on Hoopla. But it's like I said, it's like a 700-page comic that I just didn't have time to get to.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get into it just to get a better idea because I like if the comic is great, it'll probably make me love this film more.
We ask a question each week.
Yeah, about the Bible.
No, not about the Bible.
Corey Feldman. There's only one person I want him in this because I actually really love the casting. I love the casting in this.
Yeah.
Everybody was good. The only person... Where would you put him?
I really don't want him in this movie.
Really? To me, it's the brother.
Oh, that would work.
You know what I mean?
He'd walk out.
He just moonwalk his way out.
He talked to the brother and then moonwalk his way out.
Yeah. But yeah, like other than that, like I don't think Corey would have brought too much to this film. That's. Would he? No, I don't know. Corey has this charm where like. Once you see him, that you're like,
he's like this guy, you know.
He's like this guy, you know. Like, but when you see Corey on film, like on TV or whatever, you're like your heart goes very like, it's Corey. You
Your
know
heart goes very, it's Corey.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but not in this film. This film's too dark for that. But you know, Corey does have range though. He could do anything.
I mean, he does comedy.
He's an entrepreneur. He's a musician.
He does comedy.
He's a humanitarian.
He does comedy.
All right, we're done here. Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Jimmy.
So, what have you been blanking?
I'm blanking quite a bit. I play a lot of the Sherlock Holmes video games.
Oh yeah,
as I've told you.
Yeah.
And so the one I'm playing right now is kind of like open world one, and you do all these. You can just go around this like island. You're in Cordona, and you're like.
Cordona, is that a real place?
I don't know if it's a fucking real place, dude. I'm just playing the video game.
Okay, go ahead. And
then you go around the island, and you're like doing all these missions and stuff, and you have to like go research things, and it's fun.
Yeah.
But Emily watches me play it all the time, and then a while back I bought the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies.
Ooh.
Because they were like cheap on one of those.
Sexy Sherlock Holmes.
So we watched the first one.
I actually like it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I again with Sherlock Holmes and Batman and anything like that, you have to go into it thinking like there are things you know about these characters. Uh-huh. They're going to acknowledge some of these things and not acknowledge the other things.
Right.
And just go like that and just judge it that way. So yeah, I like it. I like them. I'm on a huge Sherlock Holmes kick for about for almost maybe a year at this point. So let me go through all those games. And there's games I haven't even fucking finished yet. Like I'm still not done with the one I just bought. And then there's another one where it's kind of there's one where it's like I don't know if it's like Sherlock Holmes and Cthulhu.
Oh, okay.
And then there's another one that's a full-on like Cthulhu game that's made by the same company, it's The Sinking City.
Okay, and it's got Sherlock Holmes in it.
There's one that has Sherlock Holmes and one that doesn't.
Okay.
And then, I bought a game that it's Vertigo, but it's not Vertigo. Like it's not Hitchcock's Vertigo. It's just kind of based on Vertigo.
Okay.
And I'm like, it's a $5 game. I'll give it a try.
So it's got what's his name, Heller from the Ducks.
No, it doesn't have Heller from the Ducks. So yeah, I'm like way into like mystery games because like they have mystery games where you can fuck up.
Okay.
Like kind of like how L.A. Noire was, where it trees off and other things and you can screw up. This and if you don't do anything over here, these ones do the same shit. And if you miss like one little clue, you'll come to the wrong conclusion.
Okay.
So it's fun. I like that, and sometimes I'm good at it, and sometimes I'm fucking horrible at it. This open world one was really weird because all the other ones were like levels. Uh-huh. Like you play each level and it tells you a story. It doesn't like you jump. Like this one tells you a story, but you jump around to a bunch of different things. Okay. And you can do a bunch of side missions. Like it's like Grand Theft Auto fucking White Castle, but or Whitechapel. I mean. Okay, good. But it's interesting. It's fun, and you're young Sherlock Holmes. That's cool though. You're young Sherlock Holmes, so you don't have Watson. And Emily doesn't understand that when you read the books, like most of them are told from Watson's point of view. Right. So Emily doesn't get that Watson is supposed to be you watching Sherlock Holmes. Like she doesn't understand that. Okay. So whenever Watson comes on, she's like, I fucking hate Watson. I didn't say fucking, but she's like, I hate Watson because he doesn't do anything. And I'm trying to explain, I'm like, that's the literary device. He's a literary device. He's the MacGuffin. I'm joking. No, he's the literary device that's used that you're supposed to see the story through.
Right.
And she doesn't understand that. She just sees him being useless.
That's hilarious. I saw a little film called Gangs of New York.
Fuck. Okay. Good. That's good. You know why? Because that's the Scorsese I haven't seen.
Okay. I can say right now. Woo! That's a movie, dude.
That's what I've been told.
That is a movie. I don't know why. I never was interested. I didn't give two shits about it.
You know what? It's one of those ones.
Man, dude, it get like there's some parts where like it fires me up.
There's dude, there's some like movies I look at that I'm just like, I know I should watch it, but I'm just like, man, and that's one of them.
Dude,
I don't know why, and I know it's not like it's not Scorsese, and it's not like everybody in that movie is fucking amazing. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, I was tripping out because there were so many people in that movie.
Yeah, like
many people.
You know what I mean, and you know what I mean. Like even the shittiest Scorsese movie is still a good movie.
And what's his name that plays Bill the Butcher?
Oh, he's getting everything.
Holy fuck, dude!
Did you ever see?
I was intimidated. I was like,
you saw there will be blood, right?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, he was getting that too.
But yeah, oh man, I was so glad I watched it. But man, I kicked myself for not watching it sooner.
So I'm getting closer.
Closer to what?
To the Dark Tower. I read Wolves of the Calla. I listened to Wolves of the Calla.
Oh my god!
Okay.
You're the last book away.
I'm 2 books away because there's Susanna.
Oh, it's the Song of Susanna.
Okay, so you didn't tell me that it's just Stephen King's Seven Samurai. You also didn't tell me that it's just Stephen King's Back to the Future Part 2.
Because it happened. It
When
jumps different stuff.
When I was sending you those texts, you're like, "Oh yeah, it is."
Yeah,
oh, yeah, it is.
Because like it's so many genres all like in it. So I can't tell you which one thing.
It starts to wear on me. Like I liked all that Father Callahan stuff. Like that was neat.
How dope was that?
But that could have been its own book.
Yeah.
Like that could have been its own book.
And then you get more Father Callahan on like the first half of the Dark Tower.
Oh, the Dark Tower. So he pops back up again.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah, it pops back up again, and like you get.
Well, he's there. He didn't die at the end.
No, yeah.
So I kind of got the impression that Father Callahan's going to pop back up.
Yeah, and you get more of his backstory and how he got there, and you're like, oh man, it's so cool.
Well,
there's a song that's stuck in my head.
What else is there? He told you how he got there.
No, but you see the reasons why he left.
Why he left?
Why he left? Like
Salem's Lot?
You'll see.
Did you read Salem's Lot?
I did.
Okay.
I did. How great is that book?
That's a good book. You know they made another movie of it, right?
Oh, which one?
Salem's Lot.
Jerusalem's Lot or whatever?
No, okay.
There's two.
Okay,
like,
do you know
I got confused with the movies because like...
So there's Jerusalem's Lot,
yeah,
which is all the shit that happened before.
Yeah, it's like the prequel to it.
It's like the prequel to Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
And then Salem's Lot is the Ben Mears story. Yeah. There's another one.
The movie I did not like.
The 80s movie?
Yeah.
Okay, the 80s movie is...
I mean, it was okay. You get the story, but you lose so much.
Well, it was one of the first TV miniseries.
Okay.
One of the first King
miniseries. That makes sense.
It's not like this. Now, this new one, Stephen King saw this new one and said it's really good, but Warner Brothers is dragging their feet releasing it.
Dude, Warner Brothers is dragging their feet on so much of their property. I think they're going belly up. I think the whole...
Well, I don't get... Someone was putting up, like, how are all these movie people, like, still making $50 million a year when their shit's fucking tanking?
Well, so the DC's falling apart with, like, it's been falling apart. And then
I think James Gunn
movie is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
but Batgirl, to film an actual full movie and then delete it.
They're going to do that with that fucking Wile E. Coyote movie.
Oh, yeah, that's scrapped.
Which I don't think...
It's done. It is completely done.
They scrapped it.
They scrapped it. They have everything done for it.
They were shopping it around, and so they're still kind of shopping it around. But it would have been like... It was supposed to be really good.
Yeah, it was Roadrunner versus...
no, do you know what it was? It was... Wile E. Coyote suing the Acme Corporation for all the times that he's bought stuff from them, and they fucking injured him. And like Will Forte was going to be his fucking lawyer.
It's cool. All of it's filmed. It's done. It's completely done.
No, I know, and people have seen it. They said it's a real like people saw it and said it's one of the best movies they've seen in a long time.
The only reason why I would want to work for Warner Brothers is the opportunity to watch the films that are not going to show. They aired Batgirl. Yeah, the whole studio got to see it.
Yeah.
But, gee, it's so stupid.
It was like, he's that guy, he's a fucking money guy. He's not a fucking film guy.
No, for sure. It's all about, because he knows if he films it and scraps it, he could just collect off of whatever fucking insurance he can for scrapping the film.
So, speaking of Will Forte, I'm watching this show on Netflix called Bodkin.
Okay.
And it's him, it's a mystery show.
So is it him sword fighting?
No.
Oh.
It's him going to this Irish village and all this weird shit. It's kind of giving me...
It's called...
Bodkin. B-O-D-K-I-N.
Oh, Bodkin. I thought you meant like the sword.
No. And so it's kind of giving me Wicker Man vibes a bit.
Oh, okay.
And then like you're kind of like, oh, it's not. And then like there's like, I don't know, I kind of got this... I kind of get Wicker Man vibes off of it. But then I don't. But then there's like, you know what I mean? I'm a few episodes away from finishing it, and I'm going to try to finish it this weekend. Uh-huh. But like, it's insane, and it's a slow burn. But it's a slow burn. It's like a Wire slow burn.
Okay. That's another show I need to just... You know what? I'm just going to commit this weekend to like get through season 1.
Of The Wire or Bodkin?
The Wire. Because I need to watch it.
Oh, fuck, dude. That should all be on HBO.
Yeah.
And then there's a sequel show to that called We Own the Streets or something like that. That's on HBO.
It's a spin-off of...
It's kind of a sequel. It's kind of like... It's like a sequel show to that.
Okay.
But yeah, Bodkin's been interesting so far.
There's a show that I want to watch on Netflix, but I can only watch Netflix rarely.
Yeah, I know.
But it's Tires...
I don't know if I like that guy.
Really, to me, like,
because it's like
I don't know. To me, it's like he tickles my funny bone just enough to be like, okay, I can watch this.
It's kind of like,
but I'm afraid if I watch the show, it's going to be the same with me with the Key and Peele show, where like I love the clips I see on YouTube and Instagram, but I hate watching the show.
That's like him. Like that's his thing. Is like I feel like the clips I've seen are good, but he's just okay. Like his Saturday Night Live was just okay.
Because I can't watch the show. I can't watch.
I can't. No, but then you show me like the football players.
Yeah.
Like that shit's funny.
Yeah.
You show me the Aaron. Like that shit's funny.
Yeah.
But like everything else, I'm like, this is just okay. Or that Keanu movie that they had.
Yeah. Even I've seen the entire show in clip form. Like literally the whole skits, all of them. Thought it was hilarious, but presented to me, no, I just don't like it. Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Jimmy.
So, for continuing on David Fincher, we're going to watch a little movie called Zodiac.
Ooh, the Zodiac.
Next week.
Well, that's going to do it for the episode this week. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit us up at our Instagram
at YHBlankThat.
Or you can email us at yhblankthat@gmail.com.
Bye.
Bye.